Obviously, you all know me by now. I know the kind of man I am. An honest man. Mostly. You see, the thing that's been going on here, folks, it hasn't just been going on recently, as most people sort of seem to think. This has been all planned out over the years, and let's remind ourselves that we have had peaceful migration happen here over the last couple of decades, but what is happening now is not in any way the same as migration that has been happening over the last couple of decades. What we have had now is had, let's say, treasonous policies thrusted upon us from foreign powers, and our politicians, as Stormont government, these people have been subservient to globalist agendas who, let's face it folks, in my personal opinion, they don't have any use for us. They see us as useless eaters, and the people that are coming here now, in my personal views, are dangerous fighting age males, and that's why I keep explaining them as fighting dangerous age males, mate. As we've seen over the last couple of years, different incidents spreading right up and down this island. A few weeks ago there was seen a stabbing attempt on guards. I haven't seen incidents like that up here, but these people coming here, not only do they have no respect for us Westerners, they have no respect for our laws, they have no respect for our policemen that are on the streets. There are numerous evidence videos out there that show these people being blatantly, brazenly ignorant and disrespectful towards our people, our women, especially our children, folks. Over the COVID years, most of you all know me as what called me an activist. The papers called me, well, Northern Ireland's leading activist. But for me, I wasn't being an activist. I was simply trying to make people aware of what was going on, let's say, the back skirts of what people could see. Everything you see in your mainstream media is designed to program the left side of your brain, which is to say it's just programmable matter. Let's explain it like this. We have a left movement and we have a right movement. These are just labels that have been put down by this, let's call it a Gestapo government, because they don't care about us. They never have, in my personal opinion. But when it comes to the left and the right, we have two sides of our brains, folks. We have a left side and we have a right side of our brain. The left side of the brain is that is easily programmed. It's that side that gets filled with junk that is not able to be deciphered by the left side of the brain. And when you fill that left side of the brain, what it does, it starts to filter to the right side of the brain. Your right side of the brain is your logical thought, reasoning side of the brain. So all of us standing here now are all right-brained people. There's a couple of left-brained people standing about here, but that's all right, as long as they keep it peaceful. So, just on the basis, folks, as you understand what I'm trying to say here, the left and the right, there's no such thing. These are just labels put on us all. The same as the labels as Protestantism. That was put upon us when there was a Catholic tyrannical king overthrown and deposed in England. 1688, Bill of Rights, just around about that time. Most of you know for 10 years I spoke about common law and the fallacies within this legal system, this unlawful legal system as I call it. And I've always aimed to correct this unlawful legal system by whichever means necessary. And to do that, there are some sacrifices have to be made, folks. Now, most of you know I got arrested last Friday morning, 2:30 a.m., 2:40 a.m. Reason being was they were doing me for criminal damage. And to be honest, folks, I was quite embarrassed that they called it criminal damage. What I was solely doing was just trying to make people aware that I was coming here to talk about not just the petition to the King and the Privy Council that I've embarked on for the last 2.5 months, as you all know, folks. But it was also to raise awareness about the corruption and tyranny that goes on within the members and the MLAs that dress themselves up and go into Stormont and make false representations for us, the people. Every decision they make up there, folks, is basically what I would call for a globalist agenda now. The WEF, World Economic Forum, the WHO, World Health Organization, the EU, the UN, you know. All these conglomerates have all came together and basically come down with a way. Some might refer to a Bilderberg group that sit down every year, have their meetings and explain how they're going to ruin our lives, basically. But this time, folks, this is serious. This is serious what's happening. These people that are coming here, in my personal opinion, they are coming off from countries that all have been conscripted. They've all served in the army, some from 16 to 18, some from 18 to 21. Most of these people being housed up in our hotels, I guarantee you, have all had military training. And I have no doubt when I say there's an army here. I'm telling you now, there is an army of unvetted, undocumented, dangerous males in our hotels. And these HMOs that are popping up everywhere, thousands popping up everywhere. On a note on them as well, these HMOs can house up to 6, maybe 7 residents. And I'm talking thousands of these folks being placed all around in our communities. Doesn't matter whether you're North Belfast, East, South, West, they're being planted all over. Why? I'll leave your imaginations up to guess what for, folks. But not just those are the HMO centres to have our hotels filled. When you all have these IPOS centres, to say there's up to 322 of these IPOS centres spread around Ireland. Each of these IPOS centres can house up to, let's say, a couple of hundred people anyway. Multiply that, you're 300 times 200. Don't have quick mobs on me at the minute, folks. I'm just trying to relay what's in my head here. You know, so basically, this island, Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, has been flooded with very dangerous age males, military trained, without a doubt, and they're being called asylum seekers. What's an asylum seeker, folks? Does an asylum seeker not supposed to come from a country that's struggling, war-torn countries that are being genocided by their own governments? Is that not right? And does it not look like our own governments here are now trying to genocide us? Our people are being murdered, stabbed to death, our children are being raped, and it's only the white folks that are being victimised here, folks. This is racial. This is a race. This is abuse against the white race, folks. And this two-tiered justice system has parried down and bowed down to people not from here. Basically saying things like, well, they don't have them laws in our country. Folks, I couldn't give 2 fucks. We have these laws in this country, and if they want to come here, they obey by our laws. And speaking of our laws, the legislations that they have in place, they do not suit us, the people. They do not benefit us, the people. The majority of the legislations that get used on the people, let's say, we Thierry that got lifted down in Ballymena the other night, he was arrested for jaywalking. But that's just an excuse to get them in, folks, and then they'll hit them for something else. Jaywalking's not an arrestable offence. You're just crossing the road at your own will. But anyway, the point being is this unlawful legal system that's being used upon us, folks. To me, it's money laundering, it's extortion racket. They are taking money from you that doesn't exist, basically, and making you all repay it. So for me, the right way to go forward here, folks, peacefully and practical lawful dissent, which is explained in the Magna Carta, is the peaceful method of everyone arming themselves with their rights. Your constitutional foundational rights, folks. These are the things that were put in place to protect every single one of us against corruption. Remember, these rights were put in place when a tyrannical king was deposed of his position. Now, since then, a lot of different acts, laws they've brought out since then, and not really much of them benefit us, the people, folks. So everything that I do going forward, the likes of promoting is to get your communities in order, to get your towns in order, for these protests to pop up in every county, every town in Northern Ireland, and that also extends to the Republic of Ireland. Every town and every county in the Republic of Ireland also, folks. So folks, just to touch base more on a bit of the common law aspect and your rights, I have a man here who I've spoken to on social media, and he has came here. He's quite happy to give a bit of a speech to us all on the common law and maybe a bit of the corruption and the fallacies in the legislation, secondary legislations that are being used upon us, folks. Mick, would you like to come?
Thank you everybody for being welcoming of each other. Obviously this is the province-wide protest, and the province itself being Ulster. So, apologies. The common law, Effectively, everybody needs to know their rights and what it is that gives us equal treatment throughout every community, and that would be going from the Magna Carta and then down to what is then the Good Friday Agreement, because we're all supposed to get equality here. But unfortunately, that's not the way that things are being operated with. It tends to be a lot of corruption, and as Stephen pointed out there, there's a lot of people coming in that shouldn't be coming in. And the one thing that we can all agree on, at least, is that we're not a fan of criminality. And people that's coming in illegally, well, it could be an illegal heroin dealer or an illegal car thief. You know, it doesn't matter what it is, it's the moniker illegal that we need to be aware of. But they use that system against us. For instance, these boys out doing patrols and whatever, which is amazing to see, are getting hassled quite a bit, and as mentioned, secondary legislation is being used. So if people can understand that the highest court in the land is the King's Bench, and that effectively means that common law controls the legal system in this country, whether people accept it or not. And they take a case to King's Bench, used to be Queen's Bench. It can be quite expensive, but you will get results on it. But what stems from that are your rights to be able to walk about in safety in your communities and get on and be harmonious with everybody, is that you have the right under common law to remain silent. You don't have to engage with the police at all. For instance, if people are out in patrols and they're going to be hassled, the best thing to do is just stand. Well, apparently what they try and do is use the Terrorism Act against you. And for them to do that, I think it's section 41 or 42 they would use. For any officer to be able to use section 41 or 42, every year they have to update their 45 or 46, or they don't have the authority to be able to use that legislation, and a lot of them haven't done that. They're using it on the guys that once they get you into the station, then they're going to be able to do whatever they want to. The next thing that you have in your control is the power to be able to have a witness with you at all times. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have somebody standing beside you, as much as that would be great. You can have digital witnesses, so record everything too, and that means that you can be transparent about everything that's being done, you know, and you can share that with everybody and see that everybody's working together, and all we're trying to do is just make sure that everywhere's safe, you know. And even the Alexa down over the border, and that my missus wouldn't be from this country, but she came here legally 17 years ago. And then my dad's wife, whenever him and my ma split up, she's from the Philippines. You know, so it's not a racist thing that I'd be standing or looking to go to events like this. It's the network with people that understand that when people come here through the proper channels, which I don't understand why these people are undocumented, because to get to this island itself, you have to either get a boat or you have to get a plane, and you have to show ID, and that's recorded. So how's these people undocumented? It's unbelievable. They're taking the hand out of everybody. And I'm glad to see that going through the whole country right now, even today in Uri, there's an event going on too. Everybody's waking up and understanding the power that they have themselves, and especially the power that everybody has whenever they come together. You know, so I'd advise you keep an eye on this man, because the things he's talking about, I'm presuming it'll be down judicial reviews and talking to the people up in them buildings up there that sit laughing at us doing things like this. They'll not be laughing too much longer. But cheers anyway.
Yeah!
Another big round of applause for Mick there. They basically... What I am doing, folks, is bringing people on board around me that know a lot more about this stuff than I do. Because I ain't just one of those boys who's flipping just stuff it. Let's do it. Let's see what they're going to do. Wait for the outcome and learn from it. I don't believe in mistakes. There are only lessons to be learned in things like this. Now, as regards to corruption, false representations and fallacies as the regards, remember folks, we all have a right to earn a living. Okay? That living deserves to belong to you, every single penny of it. And this system, the way it has been set up, I can explain it. They just want to siphon everything out of you folks. If it's not getting it out of your electric box, it's another way of taking it out of your pocket. And this is what this system, to me, is also doing upon the people. So I want to introduce an Ormond here who going to have a wee word about something I spoke about. You might remember, any that was there in 2020 when I stood up on the stage. I spoke about the HMRC, and well, let's just face it, they're undone on Broad Street. They're a private for-profit organisation, and they cannot make the laws. We, the people, make the laws. So, a few words just on the HMRC. I would like to introduce you to Mr. B. Smith. Let's take the Mr. out. If there's no Mr. man here, folks.
Good afternoon, folks. My name's Mervyn. I just want to take it on a little bit further about the lawful and the legal side of things. Now, since 2023, and I have a letter here to prove it from HMRC, I've taken myself out of the system and I do not pay tax anymore. Yeah! I've got the letter to prove it. Okay? So anybody can come and see this letter. It's no problem. Now, if you look, we've been handing out the light papers, and this last edition, the 61 there, if you look on just inside the front page, there's a really good article in there by the editor of the light. His name's Darren. And Darren explains, and I think he hits it on the nail, exactly what we have to do to get ourselves out of this situation. And we all do it, we can all do it, we all have the power to do it. And we just have to remove ourselves away from their system and take ourselves away from it. We have so much power, and we just need to educate ourselves on how to apply that power. And once we start doing that, then we'll get things changed. That's the way I do it. So as I say, if anybody wants to come up to me and talk about it, I've got my telephone number is actually stamped on the back of the light papers that's been handed around, as you'll see me on there. Every Sunday we're in the stand in the park, in Ward Park in Bangor. So you can come down to there and have a chat with us as well anytime you like. But as I say, I've got the letter here to prove it, and if anybody wants to come and talk to me about it, it's all to do with creating an affidavit of status, taking yourself back as a living man, living on the land, not lost at sea, as per the Sescovy Act 1666, which is still in force, and also doing what we call a UCC1 filing. Okay, and once you get that, then you can stand up in the court, then you can get yourself into what we call equity court, which is the private court, which is your common law. It's no good standing in a court saying, I'm a living man, this doesn't apply to me, unless you can back it up with the evidence, because all court hearings are based on evidence and fact. And once you've got the evidence there, there's nothing they can do about it, and will take themselves out of the system. So that's what I'm going to say just now anyway, and I'll hand it back to you.
Yeah. There you go, folks. The world I come from, anything's possible. Right, I've got a speaker down from Ballymena here, folks. I'm just going to give a wee bit of a readout here from... this is something I copied out of a post I'd read probably about 7-8 weeks ago, but to me, something inside me just told me to hold on to it, possibly for today, saying there's quite a bit about the common law and the fallacies of legislative laws here. So I'm just going to read this out, and then I'm going to call up our next speaker. Laura, would you like to make your way up? So folks, again, just a wee read out here. Judges are entrusted with the solemn duty to administer justice fairly, impartially and competently. When a judge demonstrates a persistent failure to uphold these principles, it undermines public confidence in the judiciary and erodes the foundation of the legal system. Recent incidences in Ballymena have heightened public concern, especially with regard to decisions that impact the safety and well-being of women. Violence against women is at an all-time high, and this crisis demands judicial accountability and action. There have been numerous judicial decisions where the law was not enforced adequately, leaving women vulnerable to the continued threats and harm. Judge Nigel Broderick, currently serving as District Judge for Ballymena, needed to address these issues. Judges need to set a standard that reflects zero tolerance for the violence against women. When decisions fail to protect victims or fail to hold perpetrators accountable, and let's not forget, folks, it's not just against women. There are these people in our hotels that are dangerous men too, attacking our kids. It sends a damaging message to society about the value and safety of women. in the role of a district judge. The integrity of our legal system is at risk if those who serve within it cannot be expected to act with fairness and duty, to restore public confidence in the judiciary and to ensure the safety of all members of our community. Hey folks, we have all entrusted our lives and our safety in this justice system, and to see people who are committing crimes and being released with no fixed abode, folks, let's remember in 2020 they locked me up for 12 days because I had no fixed abode. The cohere's thrown out of me after 12 days, but that was that. So again, folks, again about the judicial system, you know, these people perpetrating, they're stalking our kids, taking pictures. The list goes on, folks, and what they're doing. So I've got a speaker here from Ballymena, and just ask the woman to speak from her heart. She has first-hand knowledge, the ins and outs of Ballymena. Let's give it all up for Laura, folks.
Right, okay, it's my cousin's niece that was raped in June. 2 weeks previous, there was 2 other wee girls raped. Can't go into details, but they're the racist bullshit that they call us. If they knew our family, they know we're not racist. So all mainstream media, politicians, police, we are not racist. We do not want the Roma. We do not want any illegal immigrants in our town. Just found out there's 30% of them back. Some landlords have promised that they're not bringing them back, but as my daughter calls me a Roma hunter, I am out day and daily taking pictures. Only a couple of weeks ago in the park I followed one round, pretending he had a child. I videoed him and sent it to the girls in the group. He was shouting for a child. I followed him about. There was no child, so what the fuck was he doing in the park? No, last week 3 men in a van tried to adopt a wee girl who in her 20s walking along with their 3-year-old child. That was for the protest last Thursday night. We have took abuse from our own people when we were standing protesting, nodding our heads, making wanker signs at us. I'm cross, we're all angry, we don't want them there. It sort of took over my life. It's ridiculous. I'm sick of, say, mainstream media, police, the whole lot of them. They can stick their racist card up their arse. Yeah! I am holding a big protest on the 20th September at 12:30. It is on a Saturday. We are going to disrupt the whole town centre and walk from Harryville right through to the bandstand, and we're going to have some speakers there. Yeah! So hopefully the people that have done their shopping and are going for a wee bite of lunch, sorry, that's not happening. You're more than welcome to come down. This can't go on. The 2 14-year-olds that are inside, they're not 14-year-olds, I know that for a fact. The third guy, the night of the riots, it just so happened that he was in Antrimary Hospital, and a friend of my brother's had seen him and sent the photo to my brother, and 2 of my cousins went up to the hospital and sat at the hospital till the police came to arrest him. He then gave a different name and the police weren't going to arrest him. No, that's not him, that's not him. Finally they did arrest him, let him go the next morning straight on a plane to wherever the fuck he's from. Apparently getting him back, still not back. Don't know if I want him back or not, to be honest, but at the end of the day my niece isn't going to any justice until they are brought to justice, and I think the only reason she's at peace at the minute is because they are away. Last week when the wee girl was abducted, she'd probably heard, or attempted abduction, you probably heard her dad talking with Freedom Dad the other night. They took her to Antrim, questioned her as if she had done something wrong. Was she at the protests? Where did she work? Was there foreigner kids in her work? They were going to go to her work to see how she reacted with these foreign kids. Why did she take her child shopping? Why didn't she buy her a present online? What bullshit's that? This is a child in her 20s, walking down the street with her child. No one's for us, we have to be for ourselves. Yep. So, thank you. Yeah!
Right, folks, as most of you remember, that night down in Ballymena, trouble had ensued and broke out, and houses were burnt and damaged. And although I can't advocate for any violence, folks, but I also have to say I do understand the frustrations, not just in Ballymena, it's in every town, every county in Northern Ireland, and it's down in the Republic of Ireland too, folks, that are being dictated to by foreign powers. Maybe they should start invoking their Bill of Rights like we are going to do up here.
Yeah.
Right, folks, the next speaker, he's quite a talkative man. Make your way up, Ken, let's go. He's quite a talkative man. He has quite a few subjects that he likes to talk on and head on, but he's on the same page as where we're trying to go here in this movement forward, folks. And I'm telling you, there's an army of dangerous fighting age males here, folks. Before there's any reactions out of any of our people and frustrations break the point of no return, it's time you've all got to know your rights going forward here. Before anybody wants to get involved in activism or going forward, because believe me, the police and the authorities will come for you. The more you put yourselves out there, look at me and the brother Neil there, two of us left in the space of a week. What's the evidence? Let's see it. Let's see it. But we need to learn our rights, folks, going forward. So I'm going to give you a word. A round of applause here for Ken, folks, just to get his spirit lifted.
Good afternoon, Patriots.
Good afternoon.
Forgive me, it's a bit of a book, but I'll try and get through it. We're a Christian country within a Christian nation. I'm unashamedly of Christian faith and belief. Albeit an imperfect person, my heart and my soul belong to Christ. Our nation, our values, our original laws are based on these same values and principles, whether everyone here recognises it or not. I'm a son, a brother, an uncle, a husband, and a father, and indeed a grandfather. I am not far right nor racist. Our country for decades, if not centuries, has had immigration back and forth with limited issue. This is about culture, not race. We're against cultures being forced on us without assimilation or respect of our combined histories. What we face now and are against is the mass unvetted, uncontrolled immigration, both legal and illegal, of ideologies and beliefs which are not compatible with our nation's Christian beliefs, laws that date back centuries. We have watched and learned for decades in the mainland how ideologies, in particular of extremist Islam, have raped through a generation of working class, primarily white children, women and the vulnerable. It is estimated to be in the tens of thousands, if not the hundreds of thousands. I encourage all with any doubt, go and read the court transcripts of the survivors, the unspeakable satanic, medieval and idealistic attacks. Read the words from the phrases shouted at these children as they were being mass raped repeatedly. You'll find the same words and phrases in Islamic religious texts used for non-believers of Islam. There are, by evidence and definition of Islamic racist attacks on our nation's most precious, our children. This will not be tolerated in our country. All the while, the supposed protectors in government at best have been complicit, at worst have aided and abetted such behaviour. Knowing that it was taking place and covering it up, their denials of the problem for political gain, the harvesting of black Islamic votes in towns and cities the length and breadth of Britain, their unwillingness to properly address the issue for fear of being branded racist themselves, and in turn dismissing anyone highlighting the issues as partaking in an attempted character assassination, and lobbying of social media platforms to remove individuals with different views from the government. It is of no surprise and indeed ironic that this is generally directed towards the undesirables and the insignificant voices to the elites in power, of which is the working class people trying to speak out for their communities. To be frank, by attempted, I mean they have been unsuccessful. And by peoples, I mean, as an example, Tommy Robinson.
Yeah!
Tommy Robinson! Here we have an imperfect man by his own admission, a husband, a father, for over a decade has been vilified, persecuted, prosecuted, and indeed incarcerated by the state and establishment on trumped-up charges. In efforts to silence him, he has endured multiple threats to himself and family, aided by the mainstream media spouting mistruths to fully align with the government's narrative. They say he's racist. Where's his convictions of racism? They say he's far right. If the classification of far right is someone who's proud and loves their country, stands up against the crimes of rape and tortures in communities, highlighting the societal decline and the erosion of culture, all self-inflicted wounds from our supposed protectors and successive governments, past and present, with the obsession of mass immigration, of radical ideologies not compatible with their Christian values. If this is now what's far right, you may arrest us all. The government have fudged and lied, together with the part in mainstream medias, pushing the same narrative and falsehoods. I say it's not working anymore. The working class people are awake from your hypocrisies. By hypocrisies, the media ask. They brand patriots being vigilant in their communities peaceably, not committing any crimes, labelled as far-right vigilante thugs. Meanwhile, at the same time in leafy suburbs across the United Kingdom and Ireland, north and south, these same activities are called neighbourhood watch schemes. I won for support our neighbourhood watch schemes. At any protest or demo, the media repeatedly reports anti-fascist, pro-immigration on this side of the street. Meanwhile, that leaves the people watching at home to discern the other people must be fascists. We're neither racist or fascist. We're simply against radical ideologies raping our women and children and trying to convert our Christian country into the very Islamic state they supposedly fled from. You won't adopt our laws or respect our cultures, our traditions, then maybe our country is not a safe harbour you sought or need. For decades since the signing of the Good Friday Belfast Agreement, we have been told to accept the blanket release from our prisons, terrorists and their political sympathisers in government, after years of turmoil, ignoring their previous activities on future reporting. The media happily publish and report and interview them as their governmental positions and party affiliation. No mention of their past transgressions after this. Meanwhile, should a member of the working class Protestant community raise their head to affect positive involvement within their communities, they are immediately lambasted and negatively reported on. The transgressions of the past are brought to the fore regarding us how far back, negatively categorising them to who they are now. This tries to both invalidate of what they speak and more sinisterly have an effective doxing of the people. A lot of people, groups and YouTubers have been getting death threats, certainly was in the media as well. The media is perpetrating this, bringing it to the forefront. We are people from Protestant loyalist areas afforded the same reporting standards. Are we as a community not allowed to change or move on? Are we to live in our areas confined to the past because society at large continues to play whack-a-mole with us? The government, police and the mainstream media conspire in keeping truth from the people, hiding within incident reports the truth of the perpetrators, Southport being one occasion. We are fed the same bullshit from them all. They tell us community cohesion is the reason. Any sense of community cohesion built on lies will never succeed. Community cohesion, they tell us. I'm not the biggest bubble up out of the wagon, although it may look like it. My eyes and ears haven't deceived me for decades. For decades they have commented on troubled attacks from Drew blogs and a loyalist community attacking somebody in a Catholic community and vice versa. Where was the community cohesion then? Were there not one community cohesion in Northern Ireland? Much information is known to the public in court cases, interim reports and inquiries. The danger posed to us as a people from the imported demographic of twisted ideologies and cultures. Strange the police aren't swamping, proactively policing them. Will the PSNI also fail in the protection of our women and young people as their counterparts did in the mainland? The findings said, and the inaction and incorrect reporting wasn't part of the community cohesion, the fear of being branded racist. Crime is crime, regardless of the perpetrator's demographic. Legacy media and the left constantly try to counter by saying, as if it's legitimate, they tell us, well, white people commit these crimes too. Do they think we're fucking thick? Of course we know white people commit it. You! They themselves are being racist, saying that white people commit these crimes. By such extension are they saying that black people can't be citizens within the UK, or coloured people can't. They always emphasise it on the white. Of course we're sick of individuals that exist within our joint communities on this island. And once they are uncovered, they are dealt with legally, we hope, and shunned from their communities. The reasoning of these peoples is so idiotic. So because others do it in our communities already, should we let ideology 71% more likely to commit these torturous crimes in? The point is, all our communities reject this apparent behaviour. The media and the far left term it as white people, as I've said. I call on you all to stay focused and stay vigilant in your communities. Ask yourselves, what are our politicians doing about it? Do they vocalise support to us?
No.
Do they stand alongside us?
No.
Do they take any actions?
No.
Call out all who refuse to help and remember them at the next election cycle.
DUP, drop your thugs.
Politics in the mainland is now upside down due to successive governments' failures and the illegal and illegal immigration and the money drain and the waste and the food of the bill. This is costing currently £8 billion a year. That's 8 billion, not million, billion, 8 billion a year.
Yes.
How many voted for this massive migration into your towns and cities?
No one.
How many voted for the net zero crap, which is debilitating us financially? For nearly 20 years I've heard renewables will make energy cheaper. That's not coming to pass, it's making it 3 times more expensive. There's a mass displacement happening in our country and communities are being infiltrated by predominantly fighting age men. Here's some figures, just let them hit home. For the full year of 2024, there were 108,138 asylum claims, of which 43,630 came by boat. 75% of them were fighting age men. Don't let the media lie to you that it's women and children and families. In 2024 it was 75% men. The top 5 countries were Afghanistan, Iran, Syria, Eritrea and Vietnam. In the past 6 months, from January to June 25, total asylum claims 111 and 84. So in 6 months, it's doubled what the full year was in 2024. 41,870 came by boat in those 6 months, 90% of which were fighting age men. Not families, not children, 90% fighting age men. Again from the top 5 countries, Afghanistan, Iran, Syria, Eritrea and Sudan. Why am I highlighting these countries for which the majority of illegals came from by small boat? This is because all these countries have a couple of things in common. 1, they're either predominantly Islamic, or 2, majority Islamic. The other thing they have in common is they all have mandatory military conscription, as Stevie touched on. So let that sink in. 90% that came in the last 6 months all had military conscription. I used to ask myself, where are their women? Where are their children? Are we to assume that these unidentified military trained fighting age men have left their women and children in danger and came here with good intention? Or is it the case they've left them in safety where they come to our country?
Yep.
What wasn't pushed out by the media on the numbers coming in was Pakistan. That was highlighted by a limited government inquiry calling Pakistani gangs the perpetrators of the rape through Britain. For Pakistanis alone, it was 10,000 plus in 2024, so roughly 10% of the total. And in this last 6 months, January to June, 11,000 again, so they're at the top of the list. To the police facilitating our peaceful protest, we appreciate it. You have a different job to do, but you have questions to ask yourselves. And the question is this: given what's going on in the mainland for decades, given the reports mentioned before, the Casey report, the Rotherham report, how many reports till you take notice and the authorities take meaningful action? Rupert Lowe's independent inquiry showed 86 towns and cities currently, with one of them being in Antrim. What are the police doing? Knowing that these illegal men are coming here without identities, don't know who they are, don't know their history. Are the police being proactive?
No.
Or are the police going to continue on the media outlets classifying us all as far-right racists, picking on the innocent? The people living in the same communities these illegals are put in have been highlighting and raising issues to you. The historical evidence is written from the mainland. It's also borne on the etched faces of tens of thousands of abused children. Are the police giving talks, discussion, advice to these arrivals in migrant hotels with translators?
No.
Are they making them fully aware of what the laws are and what's expected of them within this country?
No.
What proactive policing is happening to keep our communities safe?
Nothing.
Or are you more concentrated on following law-abiding citizens performing neighbourhood watch in their communities because of the lack of policing? Councillors and MLAs, where would be a better place for these migrants to be accommodated to keep our communities safe?
Up the leafy suburb.
A government's function, above all else, is to keep its people safe. What are you doing? Because we've heard nothing from a majority of you. Are you all going to be complicit along with the police? I would appeal to everyone who can legally vote, get registered to vote. Support those who stand with the same principles on these issues from whatever quarter it comes from. All like-minded patriots across the island, protecting our communities, women and children. Stay strong, stay together, stay united, and don't let them divide us. The government and the mainstream media, if you think we collectively can, through decades of turmoil of the Troubles, to now fail at this hurdle protecting our women and children in our communities, you haven't been paying attention. It is not racist to love your country. It is not racist to protect your family and by extension community. Finally, and most importantly, thanks to the true King of Kings. Christ is King.
Vulnerable children. The housing executive, sorry. When she contacted the housing executive, they give her a total of 100 points. Now this is a woman that has 4 children. They says they wanted to put this woman in a hostel. They 25 miles away from her actual home community, where she feels safe. Now here's the thing, folks. I've been talking about it for years. You know, our own people, when they're looking housing, looking homes, they can't get a house in the next street or around the corner from their family where they feel comfortable. But they could get a house in a week, 30 miles away, let's say Ballymena, for example. Now, I'm also speaking to ones in Ballymena that are trying to get housing. They also are being sent well out of the way. Someone from Ballymena could get a house in Cookstown, but yet someone in Cookstown can't get a house in Cookstown. Why is that? The system's broke.
Yep.
The system's not just broke in the housing, folks. The welfare system's broke. I mean, most of us people here had to contribute to get anything from the welfare system. Isn't that right? We come to the end of our lives to get a pension. You need to contribute. Isn't that right?
Yep.
But obviously we heard from the man earlier on in regards to the HMRC. Maybe there's a possibility to change that. And what he'd done was hinting on the idea of a new community. Now, when he's talking about a new community, he's not talking about the communities I'm talking about. I'm talking about localised communities getting themselves in order. What this man's talking about is one big new community, all based on the same foundations. Let's say, example, God's law, laws of nature, being the foundation of how we live our lives. And let's be no strangers, folks. I mean, Jesus laid the blueprint for everyone how to live their lives. Peaceful manners, respect one another, look after one another. And he says, love thy brother. He's talking about love thy brother in Christ, not thy brother in Majid Muhammad. here's the thing, the man that wrote about Muhammad died 100 years after Muhammad did, and wrote about Muhammad just before he died. Let's say in the 10 years before he died. He wrote about Muhammad, so where did this information come from? You know, there's no 12 disciples that followed Muhammad, was there?
No.
No.
Anybody that followed him, as far as I'm aware, was leaving a trail of blood.
Yep, that's right.
And why would anyone follow a man that likes to be incestual and rape children? For a start, it's all there in their books, folks. If you don't believe their way or in their God, you're done. You know, they're instructed to kill you with a sword, with a knife, with a blade. What's happening up and down this island? People are being stabbed, they're being stalked, they're being chased by undesirable peoples in their communities, folks. And listen, we're no strangers that the fact that East Belfast has actually took a stand over the last couple of months in removing undesirables from their areas. And when it comes to the stats in, let's say, sex offenders in our communities, North, South, East Belfast are all up over the 100 mark. I think East Belfast was around about 142, but you could probably take that down to 135 over the recent 2 months. Due to the boys, due to the boys. As I've always said, folks, in my videos I talked about any kind of frontal movements that are starting up, there's always teething problems. And no groups, no movements are exempt from it. And our teething problems, we're now on to our primary teeth, and we're good to go. All's good in our front in East Belfast, folks, and we're going to continue on this way, leading the way, showing the rest of Northern Ireland what needs to be done. Practical, lawful dissent, folks. That's who we are. That's how we do business.
Yeah!
And again, as regards to this revolution, folks, a revolution does not mean an upheaval or any way connected to anarchism. And let's face it, anarchism isn't, it's not burning and looting your own areas and destroying your own communities. It's keeping your communities in order. And the way forward, folks, with our groups that are starting to form here, like I say, you get to know your rights, you get to know how to police the streets yourselves. That also includes looking after your youngsters. It also includes keeping our teenagers in line, folks. We do not want them falling foul to this secondary law system, legislative system that persecutes every one of us without a victim. Now, I've no friend here, you all know our South African friend, our Charlie boy. Make your way up. Charlie boy being an immigrant himself, one of the good guys, obviously, you know. We'll have to differentiate these days. Let's hear it out for Charlie, folks.
Thank you, Stevie. Well, from the introduction, and I was going to actually start by saying Beltje, but as you know, by that poor attempt, that I'm a foreigner myself. My story, long story short, I came here way back in 1991. Back in the day where only the brave and the stupid came to Northern Ireland. No prizes for guessing that I fell into the latter category. My intention was to take a year out, spend 6 months here, 6 months traveling, and then back home. 1 year, thank you and goodbye. But I got talked into returning for a second season, and then a third season, and then I got kind of waylaid and the wheels fell off. Personally, I blame it on the Guinness, the crack, and the beautiful Colleen's. The truth be told, though, whether I was in the north, the south, amongst Catholics, Protestants, I was extremely well received, made to feel at home. But I'm not the only one who's been received that kind of hospitality. Immigrants before me and after me have also received the welcoming. So if we go to that timeline of when I arrived here, I caught the tail end of the troubles that you guys lived your whole life through. Remember the roadblocks, the bombs, the division, and very little economic growth over here. Then we rolled through, we had the first ceasefire, and into the summer of '95, and it was like a veil had been lifted, and things were opening up. And then there was the Good Friday Agreement, And all of a sudden, apartments started going up. Tesco's and Sainsbury's came to town. They never used to operate here before, and things were great. And all through the years, post-conflict era, all the trials and tribulations of devolved government, both sides of the community kept their eye on the ball of what they wanted, peace. And it kept going, and we rolled on to here. And there's one thing I just don't get. And that is, how did we go from all of that, everything we've been through, the troubles and that, peace, to what we have here now? The best way that I can convey to you guys what's going through my head is I would love a sit-down meeting with Jerry Adams. And if he was here, I'd say to him, Jerry, the Irish have fought in a conflict that lasted over 100 years long, where brave men and women fought and died an honourable death by the gun and the sword for a cause that they believed in, to keep one nation out, the British. And yet now that there's peace, the descendants of these men and women are lying on their backs like dead ants, allowing 101 different nations to rape them left, right and centre of their ancestors' hard-fought sovereignty. And in so doing, are busy dying a slow and cowardly death, a death by 1,000 cuts. And those guys, I just don't get.
You're right in the car. You're right. You're right. You're right.
And we can frame that to the other side, to unionists as well. Don't know who's leading that shit show at the moment, but they're just as bad. So to all the politicians, to those on the far left, to those sitting on the fence, I say to you, you're not Republican, you're not nationalists, you're not unionists, you're not loyalists, you're traitors. You're the Monday Trojan horses. You're sellouts. You've betrayed your people. And the shame is on you.
Yeah.
They say that your most dangerous enemy is not the one you'll meet on the battlefield. It's the enemy within. The guys coming over on the boats are bad actors, but our most dangerous enemy is the enemy within. It's these guys. As you know, Northern Ireland is in a unique situation, given the past history that I ran through briefly. And it reminds me of a story from Africa. It's less of a story, it actually happens in real life. And in this example, you've got two buffaloes in the bush, in the wild. And as happens, the old bull and the new up-and-coming guy, they're fighting for supremacy of the herd, as the rest of the herd watches on. But there's that busy fighting, they don't see in the long grass there comes a lion, sneaking through. But between the end of the grass and where the buffaloes are, there's about 100 meters of open land. And he has to break cover. The herd sees the lion and they bolt. They're gone. But these two guys are that intent fighting with each other. In that moment in time, although they're from the same herd, they're each other's enemy. And they go on at it, hammer and tong, knocking horns together. And when do they see the lion? When it's too late. Boom, and he gets his meal. And that, folks, I believe, is what they talk about when they mention divide and conquer. That is it in a nutshell. And whether it's green or orange, as we have here in this situation, or the left and the right, we're too busy fighting against each other, and we don't see the real danger coming, the snake in the grass. Whether it's the WEF, the globalists, the East, and the rise of Islam. That's the real danger, guys.
It is.
But as Northern Ireland has a unique opportunity to bring orange and green together and line these streets from that gate all the way up to the building, down the other side, and make these guys hear us. We have an opportunity here. They weren't able to do it, but we can bring ourselves together. And I believe what Stevie's doing, and this whole movement, what these guys are worried about, immigration is one thing, but if we keep going here, we're going to take the head off the snake and change that government, the way things are governed. Orange and green coming together is one thing, but within this movement, we have to be united also. It's important that we keep our eye focused on the goal and the common goal, and we come together. Another African proverb here to close. It says, if you want to go fast, go alone. I'll repeat that. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. In the immortal words of Bob, let's get together and fight this holy Armageddon. Because if we don't, if we tolerate this, then our children will be next. Will be next. Guys, thank you for listening to me. God bless. Go safe and stay well.
We love you, Charlie.
It's just touch a wee note on the whole divide and conquer MK Ultra nonsense that this, not just this government, but governments all around the world carry out on their people. They like to tell you how to think, when to eat and when to shit. And that's basically all left brain programming. So when I think about this country, Northern Ireland, the troubles over all the years that happened, when you go back to 1969 when a provisional IRA started up and started bombing Northern Ireland, I think someone told them that they weren't doing a good enough job of bombing the south, so they had to hit the north too, somewhere along the line. But if you go and have a Google and a search for, let's say, not Google, that's Safari we'll use. If you go and have a search with the name Jerry Adams and the World Economic Forum, what you will find is a picture that will come up. And strangely enough, there's a date on that picture, 1969. Now, whether that's connected or not, he may not have been a member of the IRA, but I think he may have been a member of the WEF. But anyway, regardless of all that there, folks, I mean, all up and down this great province wide, Northern Ireland, you know, Protestants and Catholics have been standing side by side. My last video called for the Jesus flag to be more prominent at these protests, because at least as a Christian nation, we can all come together and walk the path, the righteous path, and do what's right for our children. I have two teenagers. I think the missus got bored, so we end up with another toddler, 2.5, and we've got a 12-week-old. So my hands were pretty tired and pretty full up, and folks, to be honest, I didn't know realistically that they were going to flood our lawns this quick. I was expecting more of the next COVID pandemic to come in, 2.10 or whatever it was. But reflect a wee bit, regardless of COVID, it connects in with the CBDC, Central Bank of Digital Currency, folks. This is a digital system where everything you buy and trade will have the mark. Nothing you will be able to do under this system won't be traced. Everything you spend your money on, every penny you spend it on, you buy too much steak, well, you're contributing too much to the ozone layer damage, and so they're going to penalise you for that. You're walking up the street, many of you remember the movie Demolition Man, where Sylvester Stallone standard bollocks. Sylvester Stallone says a swear word and this wee machine pops out a ticket for it and fines him. Well, these legislations, secondary legislations that are corporations trying to make, they're trying to put these things through, folks. They're trying to stop you using these words, and when it says in the Bible about cursing, it's not talking about curse words. These curse words didn't exist back then when the book was written. You're talking about cursing thy brother. You're talking about putting curses upon your brothers and sisters, and this government has cursed every single one of us, folks. These people that claim to represent us, they've cursed every single one of us, and they're using every mechanism at their disposal to keep us divided. Let's use an example like putting undesirables, weirdos, Congolese, strange, perverted men in the areas like East Belfast. Did they know they'd get a reaction like they got from the folks of East Belfast?
No.
No. But we showed them, we told them, we're not going to have this. And a lot of people have been criticising me about my posts on putting people out. And what about the Christian people getting put out? Let's say the likes of North Belfast, folks. But with these incidents, there's more often always a backdrop story than it is that the media like to put out. So we've got the media and we've got the Sinn Féin pundits pushing out these stories that these were just normal Christian people that were put out. Well, everybody, there's two sides to every story. And two sides always need to be investigated before any foundational claims can be made, especially from the mainstream media. And let's be no strangers, I mean myself, old Freedom Dad there, my bro Pinky, they've been coming at us thick and fast this last few weeks, folks. And that should show you all who they side with, who they're being paid by, NGO organisations, maybe. Or maybe it's just the media, mainstream media, is funding them so they can collect these stories. Don't trust none of them, folks. I mean, your man Hugh Jordan from Sunday World was running about the Craigie Estate last weekend looking for me. Yeah. He actually called a customer's door of a patio I'd done. He went into a shop in Craigie Estate and he was saying he wanted a job done. He heard there's a good gardener running about the Craigie with a ponytail. And coincidentally enough, a girl that worked in the shop lived in the street I was working in. Kaboom. Anyway, I wasn't there the day he called, but it's the things that these people will go through just to get a story. Now, he went and done a story on me anyway and put it out there. What he also mentioned was that I was the cause of this great split that apparently was happening in East Belfast. There was no split. There was just no communication. But that communication is back together again. So, Hugh Jordan, you can rectify that story next week, and the East Belfast folks are well and truly back in operation. And just a reminder to Sinn Féin, stop sending your undesirables that just don't want living in your areas, the our areas, because it's not acceptable. We know what yous are doing. Yous are part of the problem. Actually, yous are the main problem, Sinn Féin, and all those others that follow along suit with yous, bowing down to yous, well, yous are all on the same page. Yous are on the wrong side of history. And as regards to, keep going on, things keep coming in here and keep going. But I mean, I'm just going to reach out here, folks, to the gay community. Let's be no stranger that these people coming here in their own countries, what they think of gays.
Throw them off the roof.
Throw them off the roof. And what's that old saying? They're like chicken to KFC. Yep. What I'm doing, folks, I have gay friends. I mean, it's irrelevant to me, some transgenders as well. Yep. Everybody's that's able and mature enough to make their own decisions, that's down to them. Whether I agree with it or not, that's down to me. And it's the same across the board, individually with every single one of you. So when I'm talking about the divide and conquer that's going on here, folks, we must raise above this. We must, we understand and know that for 50 years, this is what they've done against us. And that's why I put that connection in there with Jerry Adams and the WF 1969. I believe well and truly that this dates back well before, I'm 45 this year, it dates well back before my lifetime, folks, before I was conceived into this realm. For us as a people, uniting, that will send shivers down their spine. Yes, the flag's united, and I know we're always going to have disgruntled old schools in amongst our societies, folks. I'm not asking for the paramilitaries to join together here. I'm asking for the ordinary, decent citizens to come together in every community all around this great country. Because if we don't do this now, this government is going to put us all in our graves.
Yep.
We must all stand shoulder to shoulder. Band of brothers, all aligned under God's word. That's our rock. That's our way forward. That's who gives us our strength, folks. We bow down to no evil. We stand up against tyranny. And we rid this country of it once and for all. Getting a wee bit premature there with my worked up mode, folks. Nicola, come on up, give us a wee word here. Just another ODC, folks. Ordinary, decent citizen wants to say our bit.
Thank you. Hello, Patriots! I think I better put my glasses on, don't you think? Okay, folks, I'm just going to go through a few statistics. Okay, so Theresa May, when she was Prime Minister, between 2016 2019, that was the start of the boats coming over.
Yep.
2,100 was in. Then Doris comes in, Boris Johnson, 2019 to 2022. Guess how many illegal men were on them boats for 3 years? In the 3 years he was in, 66,000 guys. 66,000. 2022, 2024. Get this, guys. Rishi Sunak was Prime Minister for 1 year. That's the one. I call him Roland Rat. Guys, 1 year, 94,000.
In a year?
In 1 year.
What?
Go look it up, guys. All the information is out there. 2KT, as I call him, along with others.
1 year.
Up to now, 36,000. How long's he been in?
9 months.
A year? So, Rishi Sunak, 1 year, 94,000 guys. What the hell is going on? Folks, if you leave your children a world that you never stood up, they'll inherit a world where they can't.
Yep.
Guys, what do you make of the Labour shuffle?
Traitors, Labour traitor.
Treason.
We've got Mr. Lammy,
Wow, way.
who ate all the pies.
Lamy.
God help us all.
Yep.
Oh my days, mastermind. Didn't even get a question right.
We're done.
Mahmood, I don't know her first name. So, this one is the worst, okay? Mahmood has been moved from Justice Secretary to Home Secretary. Folks, think about it. This woman is going to be in charge of the National Inquiry of the rape gangs.
Correct.
Wow.
Cover up.
Them girls are not going to get justice.
Cover up.
Correct.
And border control. Exactly, Steve, thank you. Guys, these girls deserve justice. Absolutely disgusting. Guys, I'm going to get off because I think someone else wants to have a word. Am I right? Guys, thank you, and it's lovely to see so many of you here today. Stand together.
Big round of applause for Nicola, folks. She was a bit nervous, but she spoke well. Right, folks, going to give the stage here to everybody's favourite YouTuber at the minute, as things are going. Let him have a few words and just explain to you all his side of things. Now, folks, let's remember, Freedom Dad has first-hand knowledge of environments that are coming here, living in environments around these people and how they treat others disrespectfully. There's going to come a time when we're walking up a street and they're going to be standing in their groups and our people are going to turn and walk back home because they're afraid. It's this that I want to stop.
Like Port of England.
Yes, like I say, it's already happening in England. 9 councils run by Muslim councillors, folks, or Muslim MPs. Won't be long before it's happening here. So that's an our message to DUP, UUP, all you unionist palavas. Yous have gone. Right, freedom, Dad. Let's have it.
Alright guys, thank you all so much for coming. I just want to say first of all, can you all put your hands together for the girls from Ballymena who've been so brave to speak to the citizen journalists in Northern Ireland. It's a new era in Northern Ireland. As you know, it's part of my TikTok, Freedom Dad New Era. And as you can see, we have mainstream journalists here for the first time with their big cameras. Now, that just tells you what's going on. You've got to pay attention to these sort of things. We've got, we're in the newspapers every second week. We're being arrested. Stevie, Pinky, and I want to tell you now, Ryan has been released. Ryan has been released. We've only just found that out just now. He has been released. So I will be talking to Ryan. Pinky will be talking to Ryan. We'll be bringing these people to you that the mainstream can't bring. Now, this is the problem that they've got. This is why they're out here with their cameras right now. This is why you've got Hugh Jordan trying to get a hold of Stevie. You've got Nolan trying to get a hold of Pinky, trying to get a hold of me, but we won't speak to them. Why would we speak to mainstream media? We are the new mainstream media. We are the ones who are on the streets of Northern Ireland. Now, while Nolan is getting Abdul and Hamad on, we're getting the women of Ballymena on. Can you see the difference? We're not educated, we haven't been to college and all the rest of it, and we have got shady past, as they like to say. And you know, yeah, listen, we go on our community, we go on news, I go on personally when I'm walking about the street and people come up and give me money, shake my hand, give me a hug and tell me to not stop doing what we're doing. The same with Pinky, that's how we work. If we didn't get the support from the people on the streets, we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be doing it. We wouldn't get the support. And I want to say thank you to all the communities, to name a few, Rathcoole, Bangor, and especially the boys in East Belfast. Thank you so much, guys, for bringing everything to relevance. And yes, not everybody agrees. Not everybody agrees in the way things are being done. But this isn't the time to do things the way the government want them to be done. Because the government have been trying to do things for the last 15 years, and all that's happened from that is abuse on our children. Getting worse and worse. Labour's an absolute state. I'm not going to get into politics, I'm not going to get into figures. I just want to talk about citizen journalism and what we're doing on the streets and how difficult it is and how much pressure. You know, every week we're in the papers and it's always lies. But, you know, you've got to understand as well, there has been a little bit of to do amongst the patriots and citizen journalists and all the rest of it. But let me tell you something, what we're doing is really, really difficult. We're very passionate, okay? When you've got a lot of passionate men, you're going to have fallouts. But the thing is, we fall back in. That's the difference between us and England. The Northern Ireland patriots will never fall out. We will never let yous down because we're here for yous and not us. I'm Freedom Dad, and thank you all so much.
Big shout out, Freedom Dad there. Well said, Dad. Told you a couple of months ago I've got your back. I've still got it.
Cheers, mate.
Folks, here's Margaret. Margaret spoke at the last event. Some of you may remember.
Hello, everybody. Well, I had no intention at all of speaking here today. I've nothing prepared or anything, but Stephen sort of touched on some stuff that I might want to speak about in the future. I'm sort of looking into Islam a bit more and studying it a bit and just seeing what is all behind it. Whenever we do talk, I think it's very important to always remember it's not what you say, it's the way that you say it. That's very important. I say that all the time to my children, everything. They don't listen to me, nobody listens to me. But we're listening. Yeah. So I'll just a couple of things that might come into my head. Islam. The word Islam means submit to me. Submit. The word Muslim means I will submit. I submit to you. Right? That's what the ethos is behind the Islamic religion. So I'll maybe talk about it a bit more the next time, but the other thing that got me actually quite angry there during the week, and I don't get angry easily, but I've got a long fuse, but I can tell you I was really raging. Oh, by the way, I want to say to Stephen, where's my security, Stephen? No, I should have somebody here, behind me, and over there I need security. No, hold on.
You only need me, Margaret.
No, hold on. The reason, yeah, that's a joke, because I'm just, in case any of you people were going to come up and actually say hello or speak to me or ask me any questions or anything, I need security to keep you all away from me. I mean, I was looking at CJ Audit. One of his videos happened to come through, or just happened to randomly come through. And it's for a while back. But it just got me so angry actually looking at it, because CJ Audit was down in the city centre, somewhere like that, where the DUP...
He's watching right now. He's watching you right now.
That's good. The DUP... a whole load of them came out for photographs or at some sort of meeting or something. Then Naomi Long came out and a few different ones, and CJ Audit was down there doing his thing and trying to get speaking to them. And he was saying, hello, can anybody? They actually just completely blanked him. Blanked him like he wasn't visible, like he was nothing, like he wasn't there. That's what they're doing to all of us. Blanking us as if they don't want to know, they don't want to see us. But it was so rude and so nasty the way they just completely ignored him. And we need to make them accountable. It's about time that we go to them. We're going to have to take this more to the politicians, because they're hiding. Sinn Féin, if you look at their website, you can't even comment on it. They don't want to know what anybody says about anything. We need to take this to the politicians. They need to be held to account for what they're doing. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Right, bye-bye.
Thank you, Margaret. We're drawing to an end here. I think everybody said what they have to say. So I'm just going to put out some reminders here, folks. The 18th of this month, we're calling on every community to come out and make a stand. We've done this a year ago, before the trouble broke out. Well, partial trouble. Not really that bad, was it? We called on every community to come out to their own communities. We had one Carlisle Circus, we had one at Newton Abbey, we had one at East Belfast, Bad Newton Ards Road. I'm calling for this again, folks, on the 18th. It's time every community come out in your numbers and showing this treasonous government who we are and that we're ready to stand. We're already standing, but we're going to show them even more as we go forward, folks. The numbers are growing. We're getting stronger. And believe me, they can see it. They just don't want to address it. They don't want to admit that there is an alarming growing number of us ready to take a stand against tyranny and corruption in our government. So we'll leave it at this here, folks. In the words of Jesus, I'm not here to abolish the law or the prophets. I'm not here to abolish them. I am simply here to correct them and make them right again. Just another couple of reminders, folks. I forgot. I've just got one of those fizzy heads, you know. Working, family, trying to organise things, that's it, and do things right. Don't have all the answers, can't get it all right, but as long as we're on the beaten track, you all understand what's going on here, we can move forward in the right way. Now, the 18th, again, as I said, every community, folks, I will be putting this out again on social media. Not just that, Ballymena, once again on the 20th. It's a reminder to all you folks in Ballymena watching me now. We were down there the other night, maybe 60 had turned up. That needs to grow, folks. The authorities down in Ballymena need to be reminded that no longer is Ballymena going to be used as a cartwheel for shifting people in and out all around this country. No longer are the people of Ballymena going to accept unknown, undocumented, possible rapists being moved in their areas where they were shipped out from not too long ago. There's no point filling these houses with the same type of people, Mr. and Mrs. Government.
I'm greedy landlord.
So again, the 20th down in Ballymena, pencil it in, 18th in your own communities. The 20th, folks, but here, the main one, our right to free speech, folks. This is what we're here for. I tapped on it earlier on, legislation's trying to come out to, they want to persecute us for explicit language. Nah, fuck that. We have free will. We have free will, and as Margaret says, it teaches our youngsters, it's on to us to reverberate and reiterate how we go forward, how we address issues, how we teach our children. Shouldn't our children be getting taught to record everything?
Yeah.
They know how to use their phones.
Yep.
Teach them how to use the camera. It's as simple as that. It's time to educate our children on the dangers going forward here. Maybe set up some kind of SOSs on their phones. And this is what the rapid response team's all about, folks, that the boys of East Belfast have put together. Rapid response for dangerous incidents in our own communities. These people are here to protect the people of East Belfast. It's going to happen in Newton Abbey. It's going to happen in the Shankill. It already is. The patrol teams are going in the Shankill. Shore Road have got their patrol teams. What I envisaged a year ago, folks, is manifesting at an exponential rate, and it's great to see. And all I can say is, God bless you all. Go forward, protect your communities, and protect our children. Thank you, folks. That's it.